Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet. This is Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the top weekly sports stories going on in the world today. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
I'm a little pissed off.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this a little bit, but yeah, you're not living up to your end of the bargain here, my friend, when it came to the predictions.
No, and I'm going to come full force at the reason why during my final thought tonight. So you may want to stick around to see this because I could let some bleeps bomb.
A little
go.
bleep. I will say this is going to be a very interesting show. So much to cover. Season 4, episode 4, fine oiled machine. We will get into that as well and what that means. If you are joining us live, please stay till the end, because guess what? We got predictions and your name could be on that chart. We want to get as many names on there as possible and see if you could beat us. Right now, me and James are tied. Me and James are tied for the best record right now.
Yeah, I mean, but it hasn't happened. We haven't had a fan yet defeat us.
Can't happen. Cannot happen. This is what we do. It's what we do. Ron, it is time to get this show on the road.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this leadoff story. So Jim Harbaugh has decided to leave Michigan.
Of course he
has been hired by the Los Angeles Chargers. Was this the right decision by the team? Did they get the right
Chargers?
coach? Yes.
I mean, I would say so. I mean, it's all in what you do currently, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what you did in college because that's a whole different ball game because the better schools get the better players, right?
Yeah, well, I would say this. He's proven in the past. He went from Stanford to San Francisco and still did very well with that transition. Yes. Back to Michigan, did well. So I could see.
I expect him to do well. He's got a good team to step in.
Yeah, the very good team. Listen, personnel-wise, they got to make some decisions. There's going to be some financial things here that they're going to have to try to figure out because obviously they're not going to be able to keep everybody that they have. My question would be this: A, 5-year deal. They're not releasing. Thank you, Kenny, for joining. He is a very good coach. 5-year deal, but he's 60 years old. 9 years at Michigan. He was 89-25 with the one title, obviously, this past season. 10 years since he's last coached in the NFL. Lots changed in the NFL in 10 years. Yes. But he was very successful. You think about Kaepernick, back when Kaepernick actually was pretty good, got them to a Super Bowl. He was 44-19-1, but 5-3 in the playoffs. He did make the one Super Bowl appearance, losing to his brother John in the Baltimore Ravens. So there's a lot here when it comes to the trust factor, though, when you look at Jim Harbaugh. This last season with Michigan wasn't a clean slate of, hey, we just beat everybody. There were suspensions. There's allegations of cheating. There's allegations, COVID violations when they were recruiting.
Yep.
So you're bringing in, from an organizational standpoint, somebody who has a little bit of a tarnished reputation. I don't know.
It's funny how the crybaby Chargers franchise, who cried about the Patriots all the time, and here they are. I mean, really? This is what you do? This is how you show fans that you are an upstanding franchise, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? And I don't even like the way he leaves Michigan too. So, I'm ready to pile on everybody right now, right? So, when you're asked, oh, are you leaving, for the NFL, blah, blah, don't give us a horse's BS answer
Well,
that you're not going anywhere.
I think I think
why
when
don't you
he
just say, hey, yeah, I'd be willing to go to the NFL.
yeah, but I think ultimately what he was doing is look, he was getting the bidding price higher at Michigan,
Oh,
right?
of
I think
course.
they had offered him like 11 million a year. So we know this deal that he got from LA has to be bigger than that.
Yeah,
Room
it's probably 20 million.
15, 20 million, somewhere in that range. So again, he wasn't leaving Michigan if the financial piece of it wasn't right. The team he has, to your point, technically is a playoff caliber team if the coaching is improved. They're able to hold on to a lot of the key pieces. And then again, you got one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. How does he get him straightened out
Well,
and
at least we think
to a
he's one of the
championship
best.
quarterback?
At least
Yeah,
we
listen,
think he's one of the best.
he hasn't proven that he can win.
No, he hasn't proven anything.
So yeah, he reminds me a lot of a Dan Marino. At least Dan Marino got to the playoffs. This kid, he's been to the playoffs once, and he ended up. It was one of the biggest collapses. I think they were up 24-0. It's
Yeah. It's
to Jacksonville, and they lost that game.
look, there's quarterbacks that are excellent quarterbacks. They can get you there, but they can't make it happen.
Yeah.
So, when you have a quarterback that can get you there, that's all fine and dandy. But if you don't win, what good are you? You're just like everybody else, right? I don't know. Until he does something in the playoffs.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, Ron. What would a successful season look like for Jim Harbaugh next season if you're going to say, hey, this thing's going to work?
You have to get to the playoffs. You have to get to the playoffs.
You think the first year have to make the playoffs?
You have to make the playoffs. That team had no excuse the last couple of years, for not, doing anything, worthwhile. They've been underachieving for like what, 3 years now?
Yeah, at least the expectation was, they would have.
The expectation for this football team is you have to make the playoffs. You have to make the playoffs next year. That's a must. Other than that, it's a failure.
All right, we'll see how this all turns out because it's going to be. I mean, this is going to be an interesting offseason. A lot of coaching changes, a lot happening. In the
because
NFL.
when you look at it, Eric, okay, suppose they don't make the playoffs next year. You don't think that's going to get the ownership wondering, did they make the right decision when there was Bill Belichick sitting out there?
Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, who don't look like either one of them is going to get a job at this point.
Go figure.
Like when this all started, we were like, this is a lock. They're both getting jobs. And at this point, Washington and Seattle, only 2 jobs left.
Right.
And we know Seattle's not taking Bill.
No.
And I think they want to stray away from
on Dan Quinn.
Yes, which is crazy. I don't over Mike Vrabel, which blows my mind. And I don't think anybody wants to even. I don't think anybody wants to go to Washington. Maybe they don't have a coach in Washington. Shit. Maybe Magic comes out of the owner's box now and tries coaching the NFL.
Maybe.
See, that's how that works. Wait for our starting 5. By the way,
hey, I'll tell you what, Eric. If you take the head coaching job in one of those, make me a coordinator.
I can't make you a coordinator. You can't even deliver on your bet. Oh man. I got to throw shots at you now at this point, my friend, because I still have that Boston Red Sox cap. I have that Boston Red Sox cap still back there from when I lost.
It's not my fault.
All right. Ron, let's talk some more NFL because there's been 2 more coaching hires. Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers have hired their new head coaches. Your thoughts on their choices? So we're going to bring them up. Raheem Morris and Dave Canales. Morris going to the Atlanta Falcons. This one's a very interesting one. And then Canales going to the Carolina Panthers. 14 candidates interviewed for the Atlanta Falcons. Raheem Morris beat them all out, including Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel. Your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I'm curious about that one. I mean, when I look at it, okay, what have the Rams done? I mean, I know they
They made
made
the
the playoffs
playoffs.
this
Yeah,
year.
they made the playoffs. They won 2 years ago. You can look
Still,
at some of that.
I'm not sold on it.
Well,
Um,
here's where I have a problem with it. The Atlanta Falcons. So Raheem Morris, their defensive coordinator for the Rams, correct?
yeah,
If Atlanta ranked 11th in yards and 18th in points allowed on defense, the
yeah,
Rams were worse in both categories.
right.
So you've literally got a coach who was actually worse with probably better talent
Yeah,
in LA. It doesn't make sense to me, but this is sort of
that's
like that.
why I was like, I mean, I don't want to come out and say it,
Say it.
but
It's a
but
bad hire.
I think they hired him because he was a black coach.
I don't know about that either though, because you're seeing a lot of black coaches this year too. Like it
I know
seems like
that,
it's been
and I think that's why they
yeah.
did it.
He familiar with the organization. He was there before under Dan Quinn, so that may play a factor. It was
Maybe.
like Belichick with Parcells. You kind of developed a relationship. Parcells left. Eventually, they wanted Bill back. So
I mean, I
maybe,
hope he does well because
but
I was
listen,
rooting for the Rams,
I,
to win.
Mike.
And
Yeah, my problem is this though. To your point, Vrabel on the table or Bill Belichick on the
table
table.
on the table.
Vrabel on the table. Right. Yeah, you heard of Elf on the show. But I will say, how does this play out for Atlanta if this isn't a good high? Because now you've probably lost Vrabel's not going there because he'll probably get another job at some point. And then Vrabel, but I will say this as well. Bill Belichick very quietly has taken himself, I believe, out of the market, probably wanting more control, more power. And you would
Is
think
he
he would.
waiting for another job?
I don't know what's going to happen. I did
Because
listen. There is an offer out there to be on Sports Unfolded on a weekly basis. I don't know. I mean, our people reaching out to his people right now. We'll see how that works out. But so maybe Bill Belichick, he was like, you know what? I really want to hit the Sports Unfolded show and have some fun there instead.
maybe.
Huh?
Maybe.
I mean, his contract may be a little less than $5 million. I'm going to tell you that one. No, it's we're very, very tight budget here. Very tight budget.
Just a little bit.
Very tight budget. All right. Well, what about this Dave Canales pickup? I like this move by the Panthers. He's 42 years old, young kid, 6-year contract.
Yeah.
The key with Carolina right now is you've had 3 head coaches in 3 years.
Yeah.
They've got it pro bono. Yes, Kenny. Right. But they've got to make sure they hang on to this kid for a little bit and see if he can get a system going and get Bryce Young to where he needs to be. That's the problem.
Somebody needs to tell Kenny that Sonny's not available.
Oh, Sonny's not. Yeah, no. I was going to say something mean. I will say this though. He's recently worked. So he was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, the best year Russell Wilson had, he was their quarterback coach or pass receivers coach, whatever it was. Geno Smith. We saw the growth with Geno Smith the last couple of years. And now you think about what Baker Mayfield looked like this season with the Bucs and him as the offensive coordinator. The kid seems like he can get these quarterbacks to perform better than they actually are. That's important to Carolina because they were the worst offense in total yards last season. And guess what? They were tied for the least amount of points scored per game.
And I'll tell you another thing. Eric. Where do you think Baker Mayfield is going to sign this year?
I think the Bucs are really going to try to keep him. I really do.
But you don't think that Carolina is going to make a push to sign him?
The problem would be is this. I don't know if they could afford to because of what they gave up to move up. You know what I mean? Like they need draft picks here. But isn't he a free agent? Yeah, but they gave up draft picks to get Bryce Young, and I can't see them after in year 2 saying, okay, well, I just gave away 3 draft picks for nothing. They're going to try to see if they can make this work with this kid. And again, the talent that was on, I would not be surprised. Mike Evans, that's a pickup that I think Carolina is definitely going to go after. I don't bake if they can tag team the two of them, absolutely. Then
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
you
it's
see
going to
something.
be interesting.
That'll be something. But the only teams that they tied for the worst, by the way, I was saying points per game, the New England Patriots. So let's go. 13.9 points per game last season. Carolina and us are tied for the worst scoring in the league this year. Hopefully this kid can do something. I thought, listen, even the game that the Bucs lost in the playoffs, Baker played well. The offense wasn't the problem. The defense just couldn't step up and stop
Right.
Detroit. So
No, they couldn't.
I like this pickup. I think they may have finally got it right. I mean, Dave Tepper, he's an idiot. We've already talked about him and what he means to an organization. If he just sits back, don't throw drinks at anybody, and watch the game, just enjoy it, man. Just enjoy it. Give this kid time, though. That's where teams make so many mistakes. Ron, got a couple big games this weekend. I don't know if you know. I mean, I know you're always so busy. You got a lot going on. But the AFC, NFC championship games to get to the Super Bowl happening this Sunday. Which number 1 seed, Ron, should be most worried about championship weekend?
Well, I was thinking about this all day, obviously, because you sent me the details, and I was thinking about it, and I think Baltimore has to be the most worried. And the reason why I say it isn't necessarily because of the team they're playing. It's because of that quarterback that Kansas City has. For whatever reason, Patrick Mahomes seems to step up big at the right times. There's not a whole lot of quarterbacks that throughout history have been able to step up time after time after time. You think of Brady, you think of Joe Montana. Well, Patrick Mahomes is there too.
He's our current era
Yeah.
of that kind of quarterback. Listen, 6 straight AFC championship games. So I agree with you, right? You think about it from a standpoint of if I'm Baltimore, I'm nervous because listen, I haven't been here. Lamar Jackson's never been in the championship game.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has the last
Yeah.
6. We said, they can't win, right? Can't win on the road. Look, they went up to Buffalo. They beat Buffalo. So experience could be a factor. But I'm going to tell you, I disagree. I think it's the Niners. And for 2 reasons. A, they didn't look so hot against the Packers. They squeaked that game out. And Love throws a pick late in that game that basically sealed it for him. Secondly, there's some injury concerns with Deebo Samuel. Will he be fully available? Cinderella right now, listen, the glass slip is on. It hasn't struck 12. Everybody wants to see the Lions. That's that Cinderella team right now that everybody's rooting for is the Detroit Lions, and that momentum with Dan Campbell as your coach, he can ride that wave.
Okay, so when was the last time 2 number 1 seeds went to the Super Bowl?
I don't remember. You want me to check? I can check.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just
Let me check. Go ahead. You keep talking. I'm going to take a peek here.
Because the chances are usually a number 1 seed will lose at one of them, right? So it's just a matter of saying, hey, when was the last time that they both actually won and moved on? Now, I think they both should, but it doesn't necessarily mean, squat, because those other 2 teams have something to say about that. And when you have Patrick Mahomes as one of them, I like the chances. But like you said about Cinderella, now the question is, did San Francisco learn from last game? That's the question. Did they learn from it?
Seats to make last year.
Oh, so it wasn't that
Chiefs
long
Eagles. Chiefs Eagles. Before that was Eagles Patriots.
Okay.
So it seems pretty common, actually. Since 2009, it's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
So yeah.
I mean, it's not a.
So
It's about half.
it wouldn't shock me that they both go because that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, no,
And,
look, I just think that you got to factor in that one piece. And as great as we think Purdy is, Purdy's really good because of the talent around him. You pull Debo out now, that changes a little bit of that passing game, some of those dynamic plays. Now you're putting more pressure on him to actually have to be the one to perform and make plays. That's where I would be more worried. I agree with you, though. 6 straight AFC championship games, and I've not been to one. That, to me, the reason why I asked this question, Ron, because I don't think there's a clear-cut answer, because you could say it for both teams.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, there's both teams should really be worried.
And to be honest with you, would not surprise me if it was Detroit, Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Wow,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Week 1 too, right? Detroit beat them, but that was before Kelsey was out, right? Oh my goodness, that would be fun too. That would be fun. All right, my friend. Great NFL talk. I love football, and this time of the year, it's so much fun. Remember when we used to be in those games? Seems like so many years ago. Many years ago.
The Stampede?
Go Detroit, James, right? I mean, it should be a fun one. We will do our predictions at the end of the show for both games as well. So stay tuned for that towards the end of our show. But it is time, Ron, for starting 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This by far was the hardest one I think we've ever done.
Yeah, it was.
Assist title. So you had to have at least been the assist title holder for a season. And when I started reading the name, I'm like, wow, that guy.
Yeah.
Wait, this guy. My honorable mentions right now, I feel, are just as good as my starting 5. Pretty close, man. This is crazy.
I had to leave off a bunch of great players from my honorable mentions.
I started cutting people off too, because I was like, otherwise we'll be here for 3 hours. But I will start us off with my honorable mentions, and I have Steve Nash. It's a tough one. Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, John Stockton. I could not believe I did that. John Stockton, who's actually the all-time 9. He's won 9. He has the most. Bob Cousy.
Oh.
Bob Cousy, I left off my starting 5. And then 2 of the current players, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, I left off my starting 5.
So I have 6 of the 7 on my honorable mention. So that means there is potential for you to have Oscar Robertson in there.
Yes, there is.
He's on my honorable mention.
Okay, interesting.
Isaiah Thomas.
He never won one.
Mention.
I didn't see him on that list. You sure he won it? I don't think he won an assist title.
Yeah.
Who the hell is on the list, right, Kenny? I don't think Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Is, but...
Yeah.
And maybe I missed them. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
No, that's it.
All right. All right. So, do you know, Ron, who won the first assist title?
Oh, shoot. I want to say it was Kevin Porter, but I think he won the second one.
No, Kevin Porter was way down the list after. Ernie Cavalier.
Okay.
Do you know what team he played for?
Yeah.
I think it was 1947. Providence Steamrollers, baby.
Yeah.
Providence Steamrollers, huh? Think about that, Rhode Island Broadcasting. And you want to know how many assists he averaged that year to win it? 3.4.
Yeah.
Wow, they passed the ball back then. Man, that was the thing.
Whoever got the rebound went up the court.
Holy Toledo. It was like, yeah, you just run and gun it. Run and gun. All right. So here we go. Kenny, be ready, because this is going to amaze you, because I can't believe some of these guys. Oscar Robinson I had at number 5. 25.7 points, 7.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists, but 12-time All-Star, 6-time assists, 11-time All-NBA, 1 MVP, 1 championship. Oscar Robertson at 5 for me.
Yeah, he was my 6th. I was battling with 2 other players, number 4 and 5. I ended up going with, and when I originally looked at the list and I'm like, okay, let me make my predictions beforehand. He was my number 5 guy, and he ended up falling out to number 6. But my number 5 guy is Jerry West. 27 points per game, 5.8 boards, 6.7 rebounds, 14 All-Stars, 1 assist championship. He led in once. 1 championship, 12-time All-NBA, and 1 scoring title. But the 5 all-defensive is what got him into the spot at number 5.
The logo, yes, Kenny.
That put him over Oscar Robertson, and so he got number 5 for me.
All right. So at 4, I had Jerry West.
Yeah.
So, all right. So kind of all right. Who do you got at 4?
I have Cousy at number 4.
Okay.
So Bob Cousy, very similar numbers to West and Robertson. Of course, Oscar Robertson had 25.7 points. Bob Cousy only had 18.4. Only.
And believe it or not, I kind of use that against him and the boards.
Right.
So and Robinson beat him on points and boards.
Right. 7.5 assists, 13 All-Stars. He had 1 more than Robertson. 8 assist champions. That was pretty good. I mean, he defines, the things, but 6 NBA championships.
Yeah.
An All-NBA, 12 All-NBA, which was more than Robertson. Another reason why I had him there. 1 MVP also for Cousy. And when I added up all the numbers to those accolades and stuff like that, it came out to 40. Oscar Robertson came out to 31, and Jerry West came out to 33. So I went with Cousy.
Okay, interesting. All right, number 3. Here we go. Magic Johnson, 19.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, 11.2 assists, the highest on this list of all these guys for average. 12 All-Stars, 4 assists, championships, 2 steals, 10 All-NBAs, 3 MVPs, 5 championships. I went Magic at 3.
I did as well. I love Magic Johnson, and I think if all these players were in a draft, I'd probably take Magic Johnson because he just wins, right? He just wins. But when you look at the numbers, it's so hard to put him above the other 2 guys.
Yeah, agreed.
It's so hard.
I know you're probably going to go 2-1 different than me, but at 2, I had Wilt Chamberlain.
I did too.
30.1 points, 22.9, 4.4 assists. So the assist thing hurt a little bit. 13 All-Stars, 7 scoring, 11 rebound champions, 1 assist title, 1. So he was able to be on the list. He was eligible.
This is another reason why I was so dang mad, because I had to put him at number 1.
I knew it. 10 All-NBAs, 4 MVPs, 2 champs. You know who's number 1? Kenny, you want to know who was on this list? The number 1 assist leader on our starting 5, and I guarantee he has it. LeBron James.
Yes, I had.
27.1 points, 7.5 rebounds, 7.3.
I didn't want to put him at number 1, but I couldn't. I'm looking at the numbers.
Ron, now the all-time 20 All-Stars, because he got in this year. So 20, the most ever by a player. 1 scoring title, 1 assist. And you think about it, he did that late in his career. He did that late, though. That was only in the last couple of years that he became an assist. 19 All-NBAs, 6 All-Defensive, 4 MVPs. He won the Rookie of the Year and his 4 championships. We both went with LeBron James at number 1.
I didn't want to do it. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to do it. but I didn't have a choice. I'm looking at the numbers, and it was just so lopsided.
You couldn't keep them out. You can't. You couldn't keep
It
them
was
out,
lopsided.
and you couldn't put them any lower than 2. Like 1,
No.
2, you could have possibly flipped him and Will.
Yeah.
But it would have been like almost why, because you look at all the all-stars, the all-NBAs, it would have got very difficult to say why you did it. Oh my goodness, that one hurt.
But Kenny,
It hurt.
I would still take Magic Johnson in a draft over the other 2. I would still do it.
That one hurt, man. That one really hurt.
Because he wins championships.
All right, Ron, let's continue this NBA talk.
I can't. I
with the NBA now.
I need a break.
There's been a
sponsor to do a commercial.
There's been a hire here, buddy. Doc Rivers has been hired by the Milwaukee Bucks. Does this improve the team?
What rock did this guy crawl out of today?
Doc Rivers has to be
the most overrated coach ever.
I was going to say, yeah, the stealthiest, slickest person I know, because when I started to look at the numbers, he's coached in 1,860 games, 1,097 wins, 763 losses, a 590 win percentage. You're like, that's not bad, 590. Playoffs, 215 games. He's 111 and 104, a 51%. The Milwaukee Bucks are trying to win a championship.
Okay, so
you get a coach that doesn't perform in the playoffs.
I was thinking about this, and I compare him to Phil Jackson.
Not even close.
No,
you're off your rocker.
Hear me out. Now, I've said many times that I think Phil Jackson was overrated as a coach.
I don't know.
Only because he only has great players playing on his team.
You still got to get great players to play.
Right. And here's the difference between Phil Jackson and Doc Rivers. Phil Jackson makes those great players champions. Doc Rivers doesn't.
Exactly. So to me, if you're an organization right now and you're saying, listen, what did we need? Adrian Griffin had the second best record in the East. It wasn't like this team was struggling. You think Doc Rivers puts you over the edge. Here's the problem, Ron. They are ranked 25th in points allowed, 17th in field goal percentage allowed. Boston is 4th in points allowed, 3rd in field goal percentage allowed. You know what the difference is? Drew Holiday, who you gave up on for Dame Lillard, who doesn't play defense. Why you're struggling right now is because you don't have a defensive-minded team. Doc Rivers isn't changing that.
No.
You fired a guy.
It doesn't change anything. The only reason why he won a championship in Boston was because of Kevin Garnett. Let's be perfectly honest.
That was Garnett's team. No doubt in my mind.
He's the one that put the culture in there.
Because as soon as it got tough, he bounced. He went to the Clippers. They had a ton of talent. He didn't win. Philadelphia had a bunch of talent. He didn't win.
No.
Now you're going to do this move thinking it makes anything different?
No.
Adrian Griffin, I swear, if somebody put him on, I want to talk to this man.
As a Boston Celtic fan, I am thrilled that they got Doc Rivers as a coach. Thrilled.
And I'm pissed off Adrian Griffin. That was an absolute slap to his face.
It was.
Second best record in the East. And you're going to fire him?
Yeah.
Absolute. The culture changed because Giannis to me has a problem.
And that's another one. Oh my God. I've been praising Giannis for years now, right?
Tibbs hasn't been with them forever. You can't say it was Tibbs.
No. Look, Giannis is now nothing but a crybaby, whining piece of garbage because he's a coach killer. He wants things the way he wants it, or he's not going to play.
Right?
Period.
For him to re-sign, he made all these demands. His brother has to be on the team. They can't trade him. I think Kenny had alluded to that yesterday, that he believes that was one of the things that, Griffin wanted to trade his brother, and that now he's out.
Yeah, we aired the
and his
show
brother plays nothing. All his brother does is wave a towel. Clap.
Yeah.
What do you do as an organization? What do you care if this kid's there or not? Well, we want to keep Giannis happy.
You know what? I hope they just lose. I I hope they don't get top 4, and I hope they get swept out of the playoffs like they deserve to be. They're a bunch of whining crybabies, and you know what?
And what happens if Doc comes in now and they lose, like, let's say 5 out of the next 10? Do people start to question Doc? Does that change now? Do they want to fire Doc because they made a mistake? Like, how do you get through this now as the Bucks organization, where you come out of this thing without having egg all over your face?
Yeah. If I was at the game, I'd have some eggs to throw at him too.
I think you'd get probably arrested and thrown
I don't care. It would be worth it.
Then you definitely wouldn't wear your hat. Then you can't blame. Then he won't wear the hat then because he can't wear it in prison. I don't want to hear it. You can't get arrested right now until you wear your Canadians hat sometime this year.
So what I'll do is I'll flee the country to Canada. I'll flee the country to Canada, and then I can get all the Canadian hats rather than wait for one from Amazon.
I like the pun on words here by Kenny, and I don't know if he meant to do it, but he said, "Dame, no Christmas cards from the Bucks, Ron." And I think he meant damn. I think he meant damn, but now you're talking Dame Lillard, no Christmas card for Ron either, because he's the reason why the Bucks are where they are right now.
And this is another thing. How often did I mention Lillard? You know, like he's never playing. You know, and when he is healthy, what good is he?
I will say this. Boston made right. There was a lot of rumors like Dame to Boston, right? I'm glad they did what they did.
Oh my God, I'm so
with
glad.
Porzingis and Drew and versus this, because all we would have had is a guy that can go up and down the court and shoot threes, which is great until you need to actually stop a team from scoring.
Right. And
Drew Holiday is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. That's your fault for letting him go over a guy just to get points.
Look, they didn't need a guy to want the 25-point game. They didn't need that guy. They needed a guy that could control the tempo, control where the ball is being put in somebody's hands that can shoot. We didn't need somebody to bring the ball up that can't control himself and has to be a gunner.
Shots fired. Get it, Gunner? All right, my friend. Let's talk some Major League Baseball. So there was a little announcement over the weekend, and we have the All-Star, the Hall of Fame inductees here, and Adrian Griffin, Todd Helton, and Joe Mauer. We're going to bring them up. Ron, you right about the
Do I have to?
So this is my turn to lose a Christmas card because I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be
Ron, and I know we don't agree on this, but this is your fault. And this is your fault, and I'm going to tell you why.
How is it my fault?
Because you think like these old baseball writers who will not put an A-Rod or a Barry Bonds or any of these guys that actually are worthy of the numbers to be in the Hall of Fame. And we're going to put these guys in because they're the second best of the best. They're not the top of the. They're not the cream of the top.
It is not my fault because first of all, Joe Mauer doesn't even have numbers to be even considered to be put on the ballot. Okay, I'm sorry, Joe.
They're not going to put anybody on the ballot. That's controversial. Player. That's your fault. That is your fault.
No, he shouldn't have gotten in. Shouldn't have gotten in. You don't have to.
This is your fault.
Don't have to vote for him. They don't have to vote for him.
They can't put anybody that's worth putting in because you.
Adrian Beltre does deserve to be there. Adrian Beltre does.
He's got a 286.
He's got good numbers, and he's a great,
probably
the best defensive third baseman of all time.
Very good. 5 Gold Gloves. I'll give you that, and 2 platinum gloves. But I will say this, Ron. My problem is this. These guys get in because of guys like Bonds, A-Rod, those guys can't.
Right.
And until they stop and change their mentality.
But they don't have to be in. You don't.
There's nobody else. They got to vote somebody. They're going to vote somebody in.
No, they don't.
Would you have rather had Billy Wagner or Gary Sheffield?
I would have rather had Billy Wagner or Sheffield.
Billy Wagner stunk in the playoffs. Look at his playoff numbers. He's horrible.
I'm just saying, I would have rather had them.
And then I wanted to ask you this question, Ron, because you say, and I'm going to ask you this question, and I need a direct answer. And don't skirt around it or try to.
Over anything.
Yeah, right. I want an answer. Todd Helton, Where did he play?
Colorado.
Colorado. So his numbers are bolstered by the
Yes.
air and everything else. Is that not cheating? Why does he get in?
It isn't cheating because of where the
Why not?
ballpark is.
Why not though? Other guys aren't going to get
No.
put another guy in his spot, and they would have had numbers similar.
Yes, you're right.
So he has an advantage. That's cheat.
He has a ballpark advantage, just like those from Fenway and Yankee Stadium.
Here we go. It's a cheat. It's a cheat code to get past it.
Until they have all the
369 home
dimensions
runs.
the same. Until they have all the dimensions the same, and all things equal, that's what's going to happen. This is a simple ballpark thing, and I wouldn't have voted for him to get in because personally,
I don't vote for that. Nobody gets in every year, according to you, because half of these guys don't deserve it.
I would have voted for Adrian Beltre, and that's probably it. Next year,
how long did he?
It's going to be a good ballot.
He played forever. I'll give him the defensive part of it, but he put up numbers because he was a good player. I'm not saying he is not. I mean, he's got like 300 less home runs than Barry Bonds, but it's all right. And a worse batting average. But I digress. I will say this: next year, first time eligible, Ichiro,
yes, absolutely.
and CC Sabathia.
I would probably put Sabathia in.
So both of them are eligible. Your boy Petey's up
and
there.
Pedroia.
He's not getting in.
I don't think he'll get in the first ballot, but he'll get in.
But that's another thing with baseball that pisses me off. It's like this was held in 6th attempt.
Yes.
So 5 other times you said he wasn't worthy, but because there was nobody better now,
right?
Now he gets in. This is garbage. Listen. Let me apologize first because I am not saying they're great. They're good players. You're an athlete, and I'm not discredit. Look, you got in, great, congratulations. What I'm saying to you is, if it took you 6 times, that means 5 other times they thought people were better than you.
Yeah, and this is why I've been wanting to start
Baseball's got to change it.
Hall of Fame.
Change it, and then put the Royd era in. Put the Royd era in. Get guys that actually deserve it. Clemens and all these guys that put up numbers against the other Royds. It's ridiculous that they're not in, but a guy like Todd Helton and Joe Mauer are in. Again, I don't understand that. Neither one of them had 3,000 hits.
No, and this is the thing. My idea of the Hall of Fame is much different than what baseball is, right? I think it should be Hall of Famers. They should be special players. Special players. So I'm not putting in the run-of-the-day guy that just because he had, 300 home runs, he gets in. No. I want the cream of the crop.
You don't.
I want people like Ozzie Smith in.
You don't want the cream of the crop.
I want people like Babe Ruth in. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams. Those are Hall of Famers.
Barry Bonds.
Todd Helton, really? Joe Mauer, who only had 1,200 RBIs or hits or whatever the hell it was, the number that they saw up there.
1,400 RBIs. Hits. 1,400 RBIs.
Whatever it is. It's not good enough. That's not good enough. How are you
the guys that should be?
How are you putting him in the Hall of Fame with Mike Schmidt? How are you doing that? They are not the same player.
Because there's guys on the ballot that will not get voted in because of what you believe.
I can understand the Royds thing. I understand that, okay? But
that was your cream of the crop. Those are the guys.
When you put in guys, you don't have to vote for them. You don't have to vote for them.
But this is my point. Eventually, a guy on the 6th attempt is going to get in because, again, there was at some point, usually, oh, damn, everybody sucked. The names that are there. Oh, look, he's better than those guys.
See,
he's better than what was on there.
The problem is you should be voted on once. And there shouldn't be a limit on guys, like you can't. Oh, we can only put 5 guys in. So
and then 10, you get 10 chances before you're not. Baseball's stupid.
Look, if you put in 6 guys one year, that's fine, but they all need to deserve to be there. They all need to deserve to be there.
And
if
I
you
think
don't
everybody's
put one
complaining
in,
about
then screw it. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough.
put the guys that deserve it.
All right,
Ron.
all right.
It is
Listen. Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. If you have
Flashback.
one guy in the NBA to want in right now, who is it?
What are you talking about?
Who do you want in the Hall of Fame for NBA for Sports Unfolded?
It would be Michael Jordan.
Okay. So we both agree Michael Jordan is in.
Would be in, yes.
NHL. Who do you think should go in?
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
No doubt in
Okay,
my
so
mind.
we both agree.
No doubt in my mind.
Baseball. Who do you think?
Yogi Berra, just based on how many championships he won, I would probably say Berra would be definitely a guy in there. He's got the most championships
I
out
agree
of anybody.
with that too. So Yogi Berra is in. How about the NBA?
We said NBA, Michael Jordan.
Oh,
NFL, you mean?
NFL.
Tom Brady.
Okay, Tom Brady's in. So we now have 4 guys in the Hall of Fame for the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. There we go. See how easy that is? Like, you know who deserves to be in there.
All right, Ron, it is time for split decisions. So split decision segment is basically us giving each other 2 more likely questions and the other having to answer it. So I am first. I will start us off. Ron, more likely to be on television this upcoming season, Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel?
Mike Vrabel.
Really? You don't think Bill, huh?
No, I don't think he's going to do it.
I got a feeling he's just going to grab the boat and just take off. His ego's got to be deflated.
No, here's what'll happen, Eric. Somebody is going to get canned mid-season next year, and he's going to come in. And we all know it's going to be Mike McCarthy.
He wants to get that 15. He needs 15 wins. Come on, Bill. Do it. Somebody out there, just hire the guy to get 15 wins. Let him get the win record at this point. This is why I feel even worse about the Patriots firing him. It was 2 more years of us sucking anyway, but like he probably could get 15 wins in 2 to 3 years. And then you make all the changes. I don't know. All right. What's your your first split decision?
All right. Let me see. Which one do I want to do with? All right. We'll go with this one. All right. What is more likely to happen first? The Washington Wizards get 10 wins. They now sit at 7. Or the Milwaukee Bucks gets 20 losses. They now sit at 13.
So you would say the obvious, right? The Wizards, they're only 3, and the other one's 7. But I feel like the Wizards, they're a mess. And now Wes Unseld Jr. moved up to somewhere in the front office, and they brought in. I'm gonna say the Bucks are more likely to get to 20 losses before the Wizards get to 10 wins.
Okay.
They only need 3, but I can't. The Wizards are really bad. They're a mess.
You like that one, though?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Twist on the words there a little bit, and it worked. All right, Ron, my second one. More likely to at least win 1 Super Bowl in their career, Dak Prescott or Josh Allen?
Holy mackerel. All right. Okay, so I'm going to say Josh Allen, but it isn't going to be with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, that's fair. That's yeah. So he moves on
because he played his ass off. He played his ass off.
I can. Okay. All right. I agree. I probably would agree with you.
Yeah, because I can see Dak Prescott making a mistake again.
Because it wasn't like even that game with Kansas City a couple of years ago. It wasn't Josh Allen can perform in big moments.
Yeah,
he just had the bad end of the stick at the end of it.
Yeah, like when you
Where
drop
Dak
the
just looked,
ball wide open.
yeah, like Dak
and,
just looks right. Dak just never looks
he
right.
just makes bad decisions.
No, I like it. I like it. Good call. What do you got? What do you got for me? Your second
All
one.
right, I'm loving this one. I
Oh
saved this
boy.
one for you. All right. Which former New York Yankee will likely sign first? They're all free agents. Who is going to sign first? Jordan Montgomery, Gary Sanchez, or Adam Ottavino?
Sanchez out. I'm not like his career is pretty much yeah. I'm surprised again. Montgomery and Snell still haven't signed. Like I thought that would have been after the the
It's almost
Otani
February,
after
too.
the Otani thing. I was like, oh, this is a lock that those two would go next, and they didn't. Ottavino, I mean, bullpen. Usually those guys can kind of find a spot. Somebody wants like a middle, whatever. So I would
And
say
he's pretty good.
yeah, I would say he's going, and then it would be Montgomery. I just, to me, Sanchez, it's like 5 years, 6 years ago, he was actually decent, and he still wasn't great, but he was decent, and like just a slow decline throughout his career. So, but I like it. I think yeah, Ottavino and then Montgomery,
Okay.
Sanchez, that order. But that was a good question. Ron, let's talk some NHL. So we got a team going streaking, a little old school there. Edmonton Oilers won 15 straight. Is this a big deal?
For them, it is. This is important for them because they got to try to build up confidence. And I know I put the Oilers outscore everyone 15 straight because they have to, because they just are. It seem like they're a sieve. But they have to build up that confidence, and you know they're suspect. They're in their own end, but as long as they keep the puck, in the opponent's zone, that's the easiest way to win. Correct? I mean, you put the pressure on, you don't have it on yourself.
Yeah, I would say this, Ron. They're two wins away from the record, the 92 Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
This is where I think it's not a big deal. That those Penguins in 92, they had won back-to-back Stanley Cups before that.
Yeah.
They lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That year that they had the win streak. I will say this is what I felt was important, though. 13 straight games of allowing 2 goals or less.
Yeah.
Defensively is where we said that Edmonton Oilers, if they were ever going to be a legitimate contender, need to figure that piece out. 13 straight. So defensively, they have started to figure some things out during this winning streak. Can they perform it in the playoffs would be a different. We know they can score. They got one of the best scorers in the league.
Well, I broke down when they won and who they beat. The beginning of the streak, they beat New Jersey. That was
It's kind of like not as good as last year. Right. They're kind of that middle of the ground right now.
Game 2, though, they beat the New York Rangers.
Okay. One of the top.
That's a good team. And that started the decline for the Rangers, to be honest with you. So they've been struggling lately. Their 4th win came against LA in a shootout. So another pretty good win. And then from there it was number 5. Their 5th win of the streak was Philadelphia, who I think is overachieving right now.
Yeah, they're kind of like good,
but they're overachieving as far as I'm concerned. And then their 8th win was Detroit. Again, middle of the pack, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Toronto was their 11th straight win. Again, a team that is so inconsistent.
But I will say this, Ron.
The only good win in that 15-game streak was the Rangers.
But I will say this. If you think about it, right, they're beating the teams they should beat.
Right.
Which is important, right? Like this is, even though to your point, they might be the middle of the ground teams.
That's a building block.
Yeah. So we could see. I don't think they get there though. West is tough. Vegas, you keep down Vegas.
Yeah, when you start beating Vegas, Dallas, Colorado, and Winnipeg, then we'll talk.
All right, my friend. We are on to our pick and roll.
It's time for Pick and Roll.
Tonight's pick and roll. All these players at some point held the on-base percentage title 4 times in their career. So we're episode 4 times. Honus Wagner, Richie Ashburn, Joe Morgan, Rod Carew, Frank Thomas, and Mike Trout. We're going to rank them from 6 to 1. I am first today. I'll give you the right list, and then Ron tries to come back through and what all the mumbo jumbo he gives you. At 6, and it's more because of the body of work. Mike Trout, just not enough yet for me to put him ahead of some of these guys. Less hits, right? He's batting .301 for his career, but 3 MVPs, Rookie of the Year, 11 All-Stars, 9 Silver Sluggers, 1 Major League Baseball Player of the Year, 1 Defensive Player of the Year, a .412 on-base percentage, and 5,402 at-bats, but he had the least at-bats of all these guys. So that's why there's still a body of work that I need to see from Mike Trout. So I put him at 6. At 5, I went Richie Ashburn. Lifetime batting average was .308, 2,574 hits, only 29 home runs, 1,322 runs, 568 RBIs. Not very good when it came to that. 234 stolen bases, a 6-time All-Star. He won the batting title twice. He had a .396 on-base percentage, and 8,365 at-bats. Really, if Trout wasn't in this list, he would be the least guy. At 4, I went Joe Morgan, and I like the player, but I didn't like some of the numbers. 271 batting average. It kind of, turned me off a little bit on that. He had 3 less hits than Ashburn, so 2,571, 268 home runs, 1,650 runs, 1,133 RBIs, 689 stolen bases, though very good. 2-time MVP, 10-time All-Star, 5 Gold Gloves, 1 Silver Slugger, 2 Major League Baseball Player of the Year, 2 championships, 392 on-base percentage, 9,277 at-bats, so pretty good. These 3, I struggled a little bit because I didn't know exactly where I wanted to place them. But I went Frank Thomas at 3. 301, 2,468 hits, 521 home runs, 1,494 runs, 1,704 RBIs, 32 stolen bases. Man, was a burner. Two most valuable players, 5 All-Stars, 4 Silver Sluggers, 1 batting title, 1 Major League Baseball Player of the Year. Highest on-base percentage out of all these guys, .419 for his career, and 8,199 at-bats. And then we always debate with this, and every time Rod Carew has been on a list, and you look at his numbers, he was a hell of a player. And I had him at 2, 328 batting average, 3,053 hits, 92 home runs, 1,424 runs, 1,015 RBIs, 353 stolen bases. He won an MVP, was a Rookie of the Year, 18 All-Stars, 7-time batting champion, 1 Major League Baseball Player of the Year, a .393 on-base percentage, and 9,015 at-bats. But I was so impressed with Honus Wagner's numbers, and I know he was a great player. I really did. But when you read the numbers, again, 328 batting average, so he tied Carew for batting average, but 3,420 hits, 101 home runs. They weren't home run hitters back then. 1,739 runs, 1,732 RBIs, 723 stolen bases, 8-time batting champion, 1-time World Series champion. They didn't have a lot of these other awards back then. 391 on-base batting percentage, and he was at bat 10,439 times run. That's pretty. And to have a 328 batting average at 10,439 at bats, that's pretty damn impressive. So I went Honus Wagner at 1.
Yeah, you actually saw it the same as me. I had the same exact order. So I give you props to that because you finally got something right. But look,
fans don't like when you turn on me, Ron. They don't like it.
No, but I mean, when you look at it, Mike Trout, I mean, the guy can't stay healthy either. So I don't see him ever being as good as the other five.
Yeah, and his batting average has dropped every year the last few years.
I wouldn't even expect him to get to 2,400 hits. So he's just always hurt. He can't stay healthy. So in my eyes, I'll take somebody healthy any day of the week, really. If you can hit, 300, you're going to be there for me. So Richie Ashburn, I did put fifth. I just think that his numbers weren't as good as the other four in some aspect. And like you put Frank Thomas number three, I did as well. I could not ignore those 521 home runs that a man can get when he's batting 301 as well. He just didn't play long enough to get the hits, so but he was a fantastic ball player.
He was.
And I loved Rod Carew. He's so good. He's just so smooth. He's just that pure hitter. Nowadays, like when you think of Tony Gwynn, or Wade Boggs, that's Rod Carew. He just got the hit, put it wherever the pitcher was going to give it to him. He took it and put it where it was supposed to go. He didn't try to just pull everything, like some of the home run hitters do. He just went with the pitch, and he was pure poetry at the plate. And 3,053 hits was second on this list. And of course, Honus Wagner, number one. He just was so far and away better. I could only imagine the accolades he would have gotten if there was such thing as an all-star.
Yeah.
If there was gold gloves and MVPs and silver sluggers, he would have had a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. And I'm like 1,739 runs, 1,732 RBIs. Like,
yeah, so where is he hitting in the lineup, right?
Yeah, because
like you had mentioned Richie Ashburn with only 586 RBIs. He was a leadoff hitter. So he's not going to get the runs batted in. He's going to score the runs. But Honus Wagner did both.
Yeah.
He did both.
Sick. Crazy. All right. Great pick and roll, man. That was fun. Ron, prediction time, my friend. Last week, nice job. 6-2 across the board, except for James, who went 5-3. But me and James tied right now, 65%, 17-9 on the season. If you are joining us live, give us your predictions during the segment, and we will make sure we add your name to our chart. But we are already week 5, Ron, on the predictions. Man, it goes quick, huh? All right. First game, we got NBA action January 27th. The LA Clippers at the Boston Celtics. I went to Clippers here. I went to Clippers, and I just feel every time I Boston, big game, Denver, we picked, and they let me down. And the Clippers right now are playing really good basketball, and I think the Clippers could beat Boston with Kawhi Leonard's defense.
Yeah, they could, but they won't. It's going to be Boston in this one. They're not going to lose another one at home like that. Nope.
All right. I don't know if James might not be on now. January 29th, Ron, you got the Milwaukee Bucks at the Denver Nuggets.
I love when new coaches take over for good teams. So this is going to go in the opposite direction, and Denver's going to win that one. I
went Denver as well. I think Doc's got to kind of put his blueprint on there first.
Oh, so he's going to put his blueprint on it, but it's not a good one.
All right, some hockey action. January 27th, you get the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Winnipeg Jets. I went Toronto here. I think they need a spark, and I think this might start a little run for them as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk in Toronto. They're getting all over Jonathan Tavares. Go figure, right? It's very easy to point fingers at a guy not producing when the team can't stop anything. So I'm going Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg plays too big for Toronto, and they're going to be a problem because they can't handle that kind of thing. So I'm going Winnipeg.
All right. January 27th as well. You got the New Jersey Devils at the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Both teams are going in this season with high expectations, of course. New Jersey is just
inconsistent.
They just haven't had it. They haven't had it. Tampa Bay has been playing very well lately. They are on the rise. I am going to go with Tampa Bay at home.
I went Tampa Bay as well, and I just don't like that inconsistency from the Devils, especially after last season. They looked so good; it looked like they figured everything out. And then,
yeah,
see if Kenny's got.
Well, they didn't re-sign what was Tatar, right? They let him walk. That was bigger than what they thought it was, I guess.
All right, we're on to NFL here. January 28th, Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. Ron, we just talked about last year, both number one seeds made it to the Super Bowl. I'm going Baltimore here, number one seed. I think they're going to do enough at home with that defense. I'm buying more into the defense than I am the offense.
Yeah, I like the defense, and I like Lamar Jackson just to get it done. Look, he banked on himself this year, right? We talked about that at the beginning of the season. He banked on himself, and here he is. He's got a chance to do something that a lot of people wish they could do, like Josh Allen. Dak Prescott.
Man,
they wish they could be there, right? But this guy gets it done.
He does.
He banked on himself. He made it happen. And that team it's almost destiny to get into that Super Bowl because of the things that they've been through as a team the last couple of years with injuries piling up. I think Baltimore gets it done. Kansas City just doesn't have enough offense. And when you don't have that offense like you used to, with that defense, they could just get disrupted.
Yeah.
And I think that's a disaster waiting to happen. So I like Baltimore in this one.
All right. January 28th as well. Detroit Lions at the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I think Cinderella, it's time to go home. It's 11:58 right now. You better get to that horse and carriage before those horses not horses anymore, and the carriage is a pumpkin. So it's time to go home and get
Kenny's
real.
riding this Jared Goff thing right now. Kenny's riding.
No, I've never been on that.
Kenny's riding it.
Wagon.
Kenny went Lions.
Yeah, he can go Lions, but he's still way too early. When they actually get a quarterback, they'll be able to compete with the big boys. They can't compete with the big boys here. San Francisco takes it.
Jared Goff won an NFC championship, has been to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy has not. But I'm going San Francisco here because I just think they have enough talent. And I keep saying it. If they play up to their potential, there's nobody that beats this team.
There's talent on both sides of the ball. That's the problem with it. And look, yeah, they might have gotten a scare from Green Bay last week, but that's what makes them put the pedal to the metal, and they're not going to take Detroit lightly. They are not going to do it.
All right. And then, so we're both picking the number one seeds.
Yes.
All right. January 27th. So tomorrow you got number 15, Notre Dame, at number 8, UConn, the Lady Huskies. This is NCAA women's action. It's your pick, my pick. I went UConn here. I went UConn.
Disrespectful.
I went UConn.
Because of the Lions or Goff?
Paige Beck has been going crazy now. She's I think fully healthy and back from that knee injury. And I like the direction UConn's been playing. So I went UConn here.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing at home. they're a good team, and you're not just going to walk in there, no matter who you are, to think that you're gonna be able to come out of there with a victory against this team. No, no. I like Notre Dame. I like what they've done this year, but it's not happening. Not happening. UConn.
I agree. Wow, Kenny, he doesn't like any of the Connecticut college teams. Kenny, we know where you live. All right, that's our predictions. Ron, normally we end our show, we have our final thoughts. Before we get into our final thoughts, can you tell all the wonderful people out there how they can get their business right above my head and where we would promote them?
Yeah, sure, Eric. It's just as simple as sending us an email to ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information. But look, you can get this nice banner up there. You can have that banner. And what you do is you send us a still ad that we post up here. And, we'll read it off, so that way, even when we're on the podcast, like Spotify, Amazon, all of those, it just escaped
The trigger.
Amazon, we read it off so they can see it, and people can listen to it on the audio as well. And thousands and thousands of eyes. We have over 10,000 followers on Facebook alone. So, I mean, you're going to get some views. This show gets a lot of views. Okay. We have, what was the number that we have? 60,000 views or something like that for just Sports Unfolded alone in the short time that we've been doing this show. So,
and it's only continuing to grow.
Absolutely.
We also, again, if you are interested in following us on any of our social media platforms, that tick has been running. We're on everything:
Absolutely.
Facebook, Twitter, MeWe. There's nothing we're not
Follow
on.
and share.
So share our show. We want to continue to grow. We continue to get followers every single week. So a lot going on with Sports Unfolded. We're going to continue to grow. We even got our short segments now that we kind of do, where we break down the pick and rolls and that stuff. Your name would be part of that.
Yes.
So lot can go on with that. So very excited about where we continue to go here in 2024. Ron, it is final thought time. And our final thoughts don't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It could be about anything going on in the world today. I am first this week, so I will start us off. And I do want to say, Ron, and I don't know if you know who this is. Phil Bissell passed away this week. And you'll ask who Phil Bissell is. He is the original designer for the New England Patriots logo, Pat Patriot, back on April 1960 when it first released. I still love the Pat Patriot. I mean, I love the Patriot symbol. You got it on your head. But that Pat Patriot, when they come out with those red unis and do the old school games, I mean, I always enjoy them, even when they stink, the Pats. Because it just brings you back to some of those old time games and some of those old time players. So his family, thank you for bringing us one of the best logos, in sports. I loved Pat Patriot. I thought it was so cool. So passed away, and we wish his family.
Hey, today we're all Patriots.
We are. All right, Robert.
Hey,
we're
all Patriots.
Oh boy. And definitely not getting a Christmas card from Robert Kraft. Can you give us your final thought, Ron?
Wait, aren't you supposed to go first?
I did.
Oh, wait, that was it.
That was my final thought. Wow. Yeah, no more. Slow it down, my friend.
No, okay. So my final thought goes out to that wonderful service that we get when we order things online, and that large river. The large river. You know what? Screw it. Amazon delivers, and gets everything we need just when we need it, right? Well, this guy right here ordered that stupid Canadian hat stupid because of that, and I won't do that again. For the predictions loss, right? This was what, 2-3 days after Christmas I ordered it? It still hasn't gotten here. I got the message. Oh, it'll be there January 15th, right?
Ron.
15th comes and goes and nothing to be seen.
Can I stop you for 1 second? Because I figured out what happened. I did. I'm going to tell you right now. You can't blame Amazon.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You can't, because I don't think they think anybody really would order a Montreal Canadian hat. And they're like, this has to be a scam. So they're not sending it because they don't think it's real.
Okay, so like I was saying, you might have a point there.
See?
So January 15th, it arrives, right? No, January 14th, I get the notice, oh, it's coming between the 15th and 26th. 15th and 26th? Why such a wide range, right? So 15th, 16th, 17th, all the way up yesterday, everything's fine. Woke up this morning, went to the thing, tracker. It's on the truck to be delivered today. On the truck. On the truck to be delivered. Lo and behold, 5:30 comes and it still hasn't gotten here. I went, clicked on the tracker. Guess what? Oh, it's not coming till February 1st. How is it not coming till the 1st when it was on the truck today? It was on the truck. And now all of a sudden it's going to take 5 days to get it here when it's on the freaking truck. Can you not get your heads out of your ass for once and deliver something that's supposed to be delivered? 4 weeks. 4 weeks I've been waiting for this freaking stupid hat. I don't want it now. I'm going to go buy one, and you're going to take your hat, and you're going to ram it.
Ron, thank you for sharing that. That is Ron's final thought. I want to thank everybody that's joined us live tonight. Kenny, James, you guys are always awesome. If you are watching us afterwards, please continue to share our show. Follow us, share it. Tell your friends about it. Listen, we want to have more live views because we want it. There goes Amazon's Christmas card. Very good. Yeah, if they ever want to sponsor, forget it now. We're done. But I will say this. We continue to grow. Help us grow. We appreciate all the support out there. Just continue to like, share, follow everything you can from Sports Unfolded. Our goals continue to, it's a done deal. Going to continue to grow every single week. We continue to get more and more followers. So continue to follow us and then share. Very important. Share our show. Let them know, everybody out there, that we are the best sports podcast on the planet. Ron, it has been a pleasure as always. I look forward to next Friday. I cannot wait. And then every Monday, the rankings come out. So NHL and NBA rankings will be out this Monday. So check out Sports Unfolded for those updates as well. Everybody out there, I
forgot about those people. What was that guy's name that couldn't believe? Those idiots that comment on the rankings.
Come on, Ron.
Well, it's true, Eric.
We need people to at least be nice.
They're idiots. Like, how do you not agree with that? The same 9 teams have been in the list the whole year. They're the best 9 teams, and your team stinks. Period.
We will see you next Friday. Everybody out there, have a great night. And all we ever ask for is peace on earth.
Yes. Have a great night, everyone.